Sometimes it's time to pull, chop, plant, mulch, till, all in a raised bed, all on the same day. So let's go see. Well, today we're going to go out into the raised beds. We're pulling out all of the brassicas. We're going to pull up all the broccolis and cauliflowers that are in the raised beds. The cabbages are in the back, and those are still going. But most of the cauliflower and broccolini back there is done. So let's start first with the raised beds. We're going to pull those up. Joe's going to chop them up for me, and then we're putting them right back into the soil. No need for compost piles. It'll just do it all itself in the piles. Now the first thing I have to do is cut the last of the broccolis. And this one is 8 inches across. It has been a fabulous season for broccolis, cabbages, cauliflowers. I'm going to walk around to the back raised bed there, and I have to finish pulling out all the cauliflowers. There's some lettuce in that raised bed, and I want to shake it enough and get as much soil off as possible. And I'm just going to continue to pull all those out, and then I'm going to work the soil for a little while. I got my little shovel, and I'm going to work it out, smooth it out before I add the cauliflowers. It's very easy to do. It doesn't take much time, but I'm trying to get any leaves that are left in the soil out of there. Now these are what they call a snowball cauliflower. They're very white. They're very delicious, solid heads, and we've really enjoyed them. So I'm going to put 4 of them. The 2 closest to me are going to be pretty close to the edge. I'm teasing those roots. And the reason why I can do it really close to the edge is because they can drape over. And these raised beds are made out of my cement boards. And I did a video when we first got down this year on how to make those. You can make a raised bed for $10. It is fabulous. And I'm just going to finish teasing them. I make a hole, put it in there, press it down, and make sure that soil is worked around it. If your plants are leggy, bury more of it into the soil. And there's plenty enough room for 4 of them there. There's one of my piles of plant material that I dug up. Now I have 2 cells left, but one of the cells actually has 2 plants in it. So I am going to divide that one. So I have 3 more cauliflowers. I would have planted more broccolis and cauliflowers, but my dad doesn't like broccoli. And I already have plenty in the freezer. So I'm making the hole, I'm working the soil around it, pressing it down. It is very fast to do in a raised bed. It's one of the benefits of having a raised bed. You're taking small sections at a time, and it doesn't feel so overwhelming. So I've got all 3 of those. And I found these 2 peppers over by the citrus trees that are not growing well. The soil is not good over there. So I just pulled them up. I'm burying them fairly deep. And I think they will grow a lot better there. One, they get shade in part of the afternoon. They'll get a lot more continuous water that's really good drainage. And I think they'll really perk up after a day or 2. Secret, water. Wait 15 minutes, water again. Wait 15 minutes and water again. You want that water to go way down deep to make those roots. Now there's Joe. He's using my food processor and he's chopping up all those leaves. If he does it too fast, they'll get stuck. Oh, it got stuck. Oh. He'll just pop it out, stuff some more in there. And a food processor is a very quick way to chop them up. The leaves are all green. There's a lot of moisture. I'm just using the slicing blade that spins around the top part, not the big blades on the bottom. And I'm not using those. Here's from the other side. And you can see that blade spinning around as he pulls those leaves down in there. And he's got a 5-gallon bucket that he's just dumping them in every time it gets full. Let me put that in the sun. See how beautiful, beautiful mulch. it's small enough that it will biodegrade very quickly, and that's what I want. So he's taking it apart. There's that blade up on top, and he will really fill that 5-gallon bucket by the time he's done with all that plant material that I can reuse back into the soil. These are the stalks. He didn't want to send them through the food processor. They were so thick and large and hard. He's using my loppers. All those roots and the dry leaves I'm going to put in the garden in the back and just work them in there. But it was quick work using the food processor, the loppers, and Joe is a great helper. So now I'm putting it around my plants. It's going around those peppers, next to the cauliflowers. You could leave them just like that. You could have it as a mulch, but I want it to go a little deeper into the soil. So I'm going to just take my shovel and I'm going to work my way in. Any kind of little trowel will work. And I want to get it as deep as possible. And what it will do is help the microorganisms. It will pull more worms up into the raised bed. And it will biodegrade very quickly without it drying out from the sun and then just blowing away. I want it to stay in that raised bed so that my soil gets richer and richer and richer, and I can plant plants for years to come. So there we go. We got our stuff planted. We have it rototilled in. Well, not rototilled. We use the shovel. And I'm going to water it one more time. I want it to really settle down, get really close, no air pockets by those roots. And here's those big chunks. I planted a little tomato, atomic tomato that I grew from seed once I got down here. And those big chunks I'm going to try to get deeper into the soil. They'll take longer to biodegrade just because of their size and thickness. But it'll give nutrients. And see, they're all buried underneath. If I move the soil a little bit, you'll be able to see some of them. I'll just press those back down. And they'll biodegrade. And the tomato will grow bigger. I've just tilled in all of those brassicas and cauliflowers and lettuce that Joe chopped up for me. You can see them behind me. That'll all biodegrade and give much more richness to the soil. It's an easy way. You're never throwing anything away. It'll biodegrade right in the soil without having to build a compost pile. And it'll work perfect. Always like, subscribe, share with the world, and I'll see you next time.